Let's be honest for a second. Manchester United mean business this summer, and I don't think enough people are actually admitting that yet. 85 million spent on midfielders alone. André Santos, 50 million spent from Chelsea. Yuri Tielemans release clause triggered from Villa. This isn't a club patching holes anymore. This is a club building something. But there is still one profile missing because Santos is a passer, Tielemans is a creator. United are still missing someone who wins the ball back and makes everyone around him better. Someone who protects the back foot, someone who makes everyone's job easier. The engine in midfield. And here's why this matters more than people think. I genuinely believe if United can get this signing right, they're not just improving, they're putting themselves in an actual title conversation next season. I think I found that player available for a fraction of a fee of what United paid for Tielemans and Santos. So stick with me because we'll find out if this player is actually the player that United have been missing and that player that changes everything. The player I'm talking about is no other than Manu Kone. For those who don't know Manu Kone, he is a 25-year-old midfielder playing at AS Roma, who is also French international. He was playing at this World Cup, who wore the number 6 for France. We can start comparing him to a certain midfielder who wore the number 6 for France and for Manchester United. Let's hope he has also even a better career than him. So Manu Kone had a different type of journey to the top because Manu Kone, I discovered him around in 2020 playing for Toulouse in Liga, a young player really showing hungerness when he came on as a young player for Toulouse, playing in a struggling team, a team that ended up getting even relegated. He went with them and played in Ligue 2, which I think helped him to get better physically because again, that's a league that is really physically imposing, and I think that helped him build up the player he is now. I was always convinced that Manu Kone would end up in the Premier League even earlier than now. I don't know why Premier League teams did make the move because again, when he left the league, he went to the Bundesliga, which I think it's an interesting and intelligent move from a young player perspective. A lot of French talents always tend to view the Bundesliga as the next step for their career, and that Gladbach, even though he didn't play in the best Gladbach team ever, he still managed to get really good things going. He was even at some point linked to Liverpool really heavily in a summer. I remember the summer that Liverpool rebuilt their midfield when they signed Dominic Szoboszlai, when they signed a player like Ryan Gravenberch and Wataru Endo. Manu Kone was also a player that they really was heavily linked to, but they never signed him. So Manu Kone kept improving in the Bundesliga and then later earned a move to the Italian league, again, that I think a league that fits his playing style, and since then he's been really doing wonders at Roma, and he even earned a call-up international because he was still playing for the under-21 team, but he got a call-up for the French senior team last year, and since then they haven't been really the same without him in the midfield. Because at this World Cup he stepped in for an injured Tchouaméni against Morocco, and what he has done against Morocco again was a masterclass. Really, he was so good on the ball, always progressing the ball. He was really dangerous also in the final third, almost grabbed the goal. He ended up that match with a 92 pass completion. I don't know if you guys understand how crazy it is. 92 pass completion. He controlled the tempo. Even a legend like Patrick Vieira, who did wonders with France, came out and said that today he is the best French midfielder, and we've seen what happened when he didn't play also against Spain. So his price tag has went up because again, I don't understand how underrated he is because his price tag was around 40 million. Roma was asking around 40 million. His price tag now I think it's around 50 and 60 million again, which I think honestly is just a fraction of what United have already committed to Santos and Tielemans, and here's why he fits exactly what United has been building. Before explaining the fit, let me talk about the profile because I think a lot of people have that misconception as Manu Kone is just a destroyer. He's a typical destroyer because he plays for France, he's black, you know, he's physically imposing, but no, he's not your typical destroyer. He's not just a number 6. He's genuinely one of the best ball carriers in Europe at his possession. He finished in the 97th versatile in progressive carries among Serie A midfielders. He is really elite at driving the ball himself. He ranks also 95th percentile in successful take-ons, which makes him one of the best midfielders in Italy. He also ranks 96th percentile into the final third. He always constantly advances possession on his own, and defensively it's what we're asking from a midfielder. He also ranks 95th percentile in tackles, 90th percentile in interception and ball recovering. So he's generally comparable to a midfielder like Ederson, like Martin Frondap in Serie A, which also Ederson is the profile that Manchester United had signed before cancelling everything and going for a different profile. So Manu Kone is a genuine modern midfielder. While Santos and Tielemans handle the creativity, Manu Kone's job would be winning the ball back and driving it himself up forward. So United whole summer has been trying to be better in possession, improving in possession. So Koné adds something that neither Tielemans and Santos brings. He would really beat the pressure with the ball at his feet. But to be honest, I still think his final ball needs work, because he finished the season in Serie A with just 2 goals and 3 assists in 29 appearances. That's well behind elite creators like Barrera, for example, or Tijani Reinders when he was playing still in Serie A. I still think he can do really better in terms of statistics and statistically also. Even though, again, that's not what we're asking from a midfielder. Manchester United would have the players that would bring that in Santos, in even Tielemans, and we also have a master at it in Bruno Fernandes. So they don't really need a player that really would have loads of assists, loads of goals. No, they already have it. What they want is a player who will really be there, who will be imposing, who will win your battles in midfield. You have seen him when he was benched against Spain. France totally lost the midfield battle. Okay, they were playing also against a midfield of Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, which I think at its best, I think no one really comes closer to it, but still you saw that he was much better with Manu Kone in the team. I think Manu Kone partnering Adrien Rabiot would have been a much better solution for France. So we're wanting a midfielder who will win you those midfield battles, not who will score loads of goals. But still, there is a bigger concern for me with Manu Kone, and I think that's one of the reasons many clubs and many European clubs and even Liverpool did go on him at that time. There is always recurring hamstring issues, soft tissue injuries. Like for example, last season he missed 8 games through a 40-day hamstring issue and another minor muscle knock. So it's really nothing catastrophic like an ACL injury, but that's exactly the kind of injury that tends to occur to more physical, explosive, carry heavy players, and I think it's important that Manchester United notices that. But again, with the option they will have with players like Tielemans, Santos, with a lot of options they have in midfield, I don't think that's a big issue. And maybe with also a better medical department, those are issues that can be really worked on and maybe that we can fix. Santos, Tielemans and Koné would cost Manchester United around 150 million combined. I still think that's genuinely one of the most serious transfer business Manchester United have done in the recent years. All those 3 players also share the first possession identity. I really think this makes the next Manchester United season really interesting to follow. Let's see what they do, because Koné isn't really a luxury add-on. He's the piece that makes everything works. So guys, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. If there's Manchester United fans, what do you think about Manu Kone? Would you have preferred another profile? Because when I made the video fixing Manchester United, people told me, this is not Crystal Palace, you're not getting 120 million players like Adam Wharton, we want wingers who cost 100. I want to know your thoughts in the comments, because I still feel that this kind of business is what Manchester United have been lacking for years. So I want to know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you haven't watched the video where I rebuild Manchester United, I will put it here. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.